Certainty feels like strength. It's actually a cognitive cage you build around yourself, bar by bar. Smart, successful people disagree violently on this point. Some build empires on absolute conviction, while others navigate the world with the careful humility of a bomb disposal expert. Both have a point, and both worldviews carry a price worth examining. Where do you stand? By the end of this, you might change your mind. The case for certainty is powerful because it feels primal. It's the voice that says, "This is the way." It's the general pointing at a map, the founder with an unshakable vision, the parent laying down a rule. This mode of thinking is an engine for action. It cuts through the fog of indecision. It allows groups of people to coordinate and move toward a single goal without the drag of constant second-guessing. Imagine a surgeon leaning over you before a complex operation. Would you prefer she says, "I'm 100% sure I can do this"? Or based on the data, there is a 78% probability of a successful outcome, with a 12% chance of moderate complications. The confidence itself is a functional part of the process. It inspires trust. It quiets the anxiety in others. This kind of certainty isn't just for leaders. It's how most of us navigate daily life. You don't calculate the probability that your car will start in the morning. You just turn the key. You don't run a statistical analysis on your friendships. You trust them. Certainty is a form of cognitive efficiency. It frees up mental bandwidth. Instead of re-evaluating every minor decision from first principles, you operate on a set of trusted assumptions. This is how you build momentum. It's how you build a life. Without these bedrock certainties, we would be paralyzed by the sheer number of possibilities in every waking moment. The person who demands probabilistic proof for every action never gets out of bed. Action requires a leap of faith, and faith looks a lot like certainty. That sounds convincing. But there's a problem. A big one. This beautiful, efficient engine of certainty has no brakes and very poor steering. It's built for straight-line acceleration, and it works wonderfully until the road curves. The same conviction that builds an empire can blind a leader to a changing market, leading to a spectacular collapse. The same doctor whose confidence is so reassuring becomes a danger when faced with a rare disease that defies her initial diagnosis. Certainty makes us rigid. It encourages us to filter reality, accepting data that confirms our beliefs and discarding anything that challenges them. This is confirmation bias, and it's the default setting for the human mind. Certainty feels like knowledge, but it functions like an ideology. It's a closed loop. New information is seen as a threat to be defeated, rather than an update to be integrated. This is where the probabilistic thinker enters the conversation. This person sees the world differently. They aren't trying to be right. They're trying to become less wrong over time. They don't deal in facts and falsehoods, but in degrees of belief. An idea is never 100% true or 0% true. It's 90%, or 40%, or 60%, 5%. This is the mindset of the professional poker player, the intelligence analyst, the weather forecaster. They understand that the world is a complex, dynamic system. Their goal is to build a mental model that is a slightly more accurate map of that system than anyone else's. When new information arrives, a new card is dealt, a satellite image comes in, a new sensor reading appears. They don't resist it. They welcome it. The new information allows them to update their probabilities. The 70% belief becomes an 85% belief, or it drops to 30. The process is called Bayesian updating. It's a formal name for something you do instinctively. You hear a rustle in the bushes at night. Your brain assigns a small probability that it's a threat. Then you hear a growl. You instantly update that probability upward. You hear a meow. You update it downward. The probabilistic thinker simply applies this process to everything: business strategy, personal relationships, political views. This way of thinking is anti-fragile. When a certainty-based thinker is proven wrong, their worldview shatters. It's a crisis. When a probabilistic thinker encounters evidence that shifts their odds, it's just another Tuesday. Their system is designed for updates. It makes them more adaptable, more resilient, and over the long run, far more accurate. Why would anyone choose the brittle illusion of certainty over this flexible, robust connection to reality? And yet, the other side has its own blind spot. Living your entire life as a Bayesian calculator has a profound human cost. It can feel cold, detached, and emotionally empty. Can you build a lasting marriage on the idea that there is currently a 92% probability that our partnership will continue to yield positive returns? Can you inspire a team by telling them, I assess a 70% chance this project succeeds, contingent on market variables? Human connection, commitment, and passion run on a different fuel. They require a kind of irrational devotion. They demand that you go all in. This is the leap of faith that certainty enables and that pure probability struggles with. You can't hedge your bets in love. You can't diversify your loyalty to your children in the domains that matter most. Love, ethics, purpose. Treating everything as a shifting probability can feel like a moral failure. It can look like cowardice and unwillingness to stand for anything. Furthermore, this constant calculation can lead to a state of chronic indecision known as analysis paralysis. When every choice has a distribution of possible outcomes and you are constantly updating your beliefs, when do you ever actually decide? The person who sees all sides of an issue, all the percentages, all the what-ifs, can become trapped in a web of their own making. They see the 10% chance of disaster so clearly that they can't commit to the 90% chance of success. Action requires cutting through complexity, accepting imperfect information, and moving forward. The certainty-driven person does this naturally. The probability-driven person has to fight their own instincts to make a choice. They can become a brilliant commentator on the game of life, but a hesitant player. The world is often won by those who are willing to act decisively on incomplete information. Sometimes, being mostly right and moving fast is better than being perfectly right and standing still. The truth, as usual, is more complicated than either side admits. The friction isn't between being right and being wrong, it's between two different goals: cognitive accuracy and functional effectiveness. The probabilistic approach gives you a more accurate map of reality. It's a better tool for understanding the world. The certainty approach, even when based on an inaccurate map, is a powerful tool for acting in the world. It mobilizes personal and social energy. The most effective people seem to have found a way to bridge this gap. They perform their analysis like a scientist, weighing the odds with brutal honesty and intellectual humility. They place their bets, allocate their resources, and update their beliefs based on the probabilities. But when it's time to act, they flip a switch. They commit. They execute with the conviction of a true believer. They hold both modes in their head at once. They are probabilistic in the war room, but certain on the battlefield. This is incredibly difficult. It requires the mental discipline to separate the process of analysis from the process of execution. It means being comfortable telling your team, "We are doing this," while holding a private mental note that says, "And there's a 30% chance it will fail, in which case we will execute Plan B." This dual-mode operation is a rare skill. Most of us default to one or the other. We become either rigid ideologues who crash and burn, or detached analysts who never get off the starting line. We prefer the clean comfort of being one thing. So where does that leave you? You live in a world that is fundamentally uncertain. No one knows what the stock market will do tomorrow, who will win the next election, or whether that new relationship will last. Your brain, however, craves certainty. It evolved to give you simple, clear answers to promote survival. Is that a predator? Yes. Run. This deep-seated need for black and white answers clashes with a world painted in shades of grey. Every day, you have to choose which master to serve: the pull toward comforting, actionable certainty, or the intellectual honesty of uncomfortable, complex probabilities. One gives you peace of mind, but makes you fragile. The other gives you accuracy, but can leave you paralyzed. So, what do you think? The world is run by odds, but life is lived through commitment. You can't have perfect accuracy and perfect conviction at the same time. One of them always has to give. Where do you draw the line?